What's up, guys? Welcome to Ask Icarus, take number 420. Like, seriously, this has been the hardest fucking video to make, because in the middle of making it, it'll fuck up, like, it'll stop recording. And so I decided I'm going to have to split this into 3 parts to prevent that from happening. So this is part 2, part 3 should be up tomorrow, because I'm really going to work my ass off to get this completed. So yeah, oh yeah, check this out. Say hello to Sir Nivens Mctwisp, ladies and gentlemen, the new member of my household. He is fucking crazy. I got him yesterday, he's awesome. Yeah, my girlfriend did the questions the last time, but she's in her natural DMT state, so I'm going to let her enjoy that. And I'll be your narrator this time around. So, first question is from Tom O'Haran. He wants to know, yo man, what's the most LSD you've ever done? I've only done 3, but that shit was pretty intense. Also, any thoughts on what to do during an acid trip? I found myself not knowing what to do during trips, and it's bothered me on some. Well, the most hits I've done is 3 blotters with 100 mics on them. I've had different doses, though. I've had 240 mics laid on blotter, and I had a tab and a half of that. So, I mean, 300 mics is the most, but yeah, that's fucking wild. As far as any thoughts on what to do during an acid trip? Bro, go to Spencer's, right? And you want to get yourself like a cheap pair of light gloves, 15 bucks. Now you want to, when you start tripping, you go in your bathroom, right? You have your mirror. Usually you have your like medicine cabinet that also has a mirror on it. And you open it, right? And you stand in that triangle mirror, and you're in that infinity mirror world. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you turn on the light gloves, bro. Put on some music and just dance with it, move them around and shit, bro. You're gonna get lost, bro. You'll easily kill hours. Or another thing you could do is buy like a projection, like a light projection, right? I bought one for 50 bucks. It's like an LED dome speaker thing. You plug your music into it, dude, and it projects beautiful lights all over your fucking house. It just moves them around, dude, and like it'll dance with your music and shit. Like sober's tight. Like I'll come home and like chill under it, and listen to music, and just look at them and then smoke some weed. But tripping under it is another fucking world, bro. It's so fucking dope. But yeah, I mean, that's some shit you can do, and that's what, I mean, it'll last you a long time, too. Like, hours and hours of fun, man. Some ideas for you. Let's see. Here's one. Alice, what should I keep in mind while taking DMT for the first time? Ow! Jesus. Well, Alice, when I don't have fucking claws in my chest, you want to know that there's really nothing to fear. Just let it take you. I mean, keep in mind that it tastes nasty, so you really got to hold in this hit. You really got to... And, you know, just don't let it go. 3 hits, milk that bitch, and you're going to be out. And just close your eyes and let it take you. And don't be afraid. I mean, just positive vibrations is key. Understand that DMT has not killed anyone. It cannot kill you. It's safe. And, I mean, the psychoactive effects are very intense. But if you go in with the right mindset, you're going to have a great time. And another thing I want to know is a lot of people find me on social media and they're like, hey man, I love your videos, yada yada yada. You know, I just got a hold of some DMT, I want your advice. You know, I've never done psychedelics and shit. And I'm just like, whoa, you're gonna smoke DMT and you've never done any other psychedelic? Like, I mean, every man his own by all means. Who am I to judge? If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But that's wild. That's really wild. There's one kid in particular, I forget his name, I don't even know if he would want me to mention it, but yeah, he hit me up and was like telling me that he gave it to his friend and his friend smoked it and like his throat felt like it was closing up and his eyes were getting heavy like he was going to pass out. And I mean, honestly, I was sitting there like, holy shit. But I mean, as far as the symptoms, I mean, his throat, it burns. So I mean, you could be confusing that, especially in that state. You're like, oh no, like if you've never had this, like, oh no, I'm dying. I can totally see that happening. But, I mean, I think it was maybe just the quality of the DMT. It was probably burning his throat. And then as far as his eyes getting heavy and he was going to pass out, like, that's what you want to happen. That's how you break through. You go in another realm, and your body is unconscious, but you're there. But, yeah, I mean, it's pretty funny. But, yeah, I mean, you just want to stay calm. I mean, this guy who did it also told me that when he gave it to his friend, he said he smoked it, and he said, yeah, dude, this shit's wild. He smoked it and started seeing shapes and colors. He didn't break through, but he was getting there, and he was liking it. So, and he's going in with the right mindset. So, I mean, that's what you want to do. You don't want to be afraid. You don't want to think it's going to kill you, because then you're going to have a bad time. You're going to have a bad time. Alright, to Zigzorgs Hansen. Hey man, enjoying your vids here from Norway. Wondering what your opinion on lucid dreaming is. Have you had any? I think I've had one lucid dream that I can really remember. I mean, it was obvious that I was dreaming. I knew I was asleep, but I was in complete control. Like I was flying, and I was flying all over the city, dude. Just, it was amazing. But that was the only one I could say I think was a lucid dream. I know people that like can induce it and like control it completely, and I fucking think that's awesome. That would be so tight. P-Fresh, I think, has a lot of lucid dreams. He always tells me about them. I trip out on them, but I can only say I've only had one, and it was pretty awesome. I want to be able to learn how to induce it and control it. That would be great. Shadow Deck Row. What do you think about the young, let's say around 15 to 16 years old, people smoking DMT? Is this good or bad? I think I might have mentioned a little bit about this in my last video, but I honestly think you should wait till you're 18. Boo-hoo, I know. Because, I mean, there's just so many things in life that are much more important right now. I mean, you gotta focus on what's on your plate, because, I mean, if you don't, you're gonna have to struggle later in life. And I know you probably hear this a lot, but take it from me, because I've been there. Like, at one point in time, I'll tell you guys a story, but I was incarcerated, and I got in a lot of trouble. And it really fucked some things up in my life, and I have to even deal with it today. Like, I still have to struggle, but I mean, I was even doing drugs in high school, so I mean, I'm not saying psychedelics are going to be distracting, but people, I mean, especially if people find out you're that young and you're smoking Dmt Trip, I mean, people will take it their own way. Oh no, my son's on DMT, I'm going to send him to rehab, or some shit. Like, I mean, if anything, like, if you go to school with it, or, I mean, if something happens, man, like, it's not worth it. It's really not. I mean, but you're young, I mean, I would honestly wait till you're old enough to be done with that bullshit. And that's just my honest opinion. I'm sure it's probably not the one you want to hear, and every man his own, you can take it or leave it, but, yeah, I think you should wait. It's my opinion. McKenna Melomania. I have another couple questions. She asked a question in the last one. How often do you think is too often to trip with psychedelic drugs? Okay, I'll start with that one. How often do I think is too often to trip with psychedelic drugs? If you're doing it every other day, then that's too often, in my opinion. That's way too often. How often would you say would be a good amount to do them? I mean, I always try to stretch it out every 2 to 3 weeks. Give yourself some time. I mean, because what you want to do is you want to have an experience, you want to roll with it, you want to take what you've learned from it, integrate it into your life, and learn from that experience. And I talk a little bit about that in using psychedelics as tools to better yourself, or whatever the name of that video is. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to depend on happiness through the psychedelic experience. You don't want to depend on, you know, completion and acceptance with only the psychedelic experience, because the psychedelic wants to teach you how to do that normally. And I mean, if you're just dropping it, I mean, it's going to be a bad time, trust me. But as far as the tolerance getting higher with each I didn't think I read it. Do you notice your tolerance get higher with each psychedelic the more you do them? I mean, no. Personally, no. I mean, like I said, try to stretch it out. And from what I understand, the tolerance will die within like 5 to 7 days. If I'm wrong, anyone out there, feel free to correct me. But personally, no. I mean, yeah, I mean, it dies down within 5 to 7 days. But so you should. I mean, if you're stretching out, you shouldn't really have a problem to worry about with tolerance. All right, Kareem Salim. Sorry if I mispronounced that, asks, how expensive is DMT per gram, and how many grams do you take per hit? Well, grams, yeah. I mean, 1 gram will send 20 people to the realm. I mean, all you need is half of a 0.1 of a gram, which is 50 milligrams. That's I mean, depending on the quality of your DMT, most DMT is going to send you to that realm with 50 to 60 milligrams. As far as how expensive it is per gram, 80 to 100 bucks is reasonable. 150, 175 to 200 bucks a gram is out of this fucking world expensive. Yeah, I mean, I've heard people paying outrageous prices for like even half grams of DMT, and it's just like, I mean, I understand because I've been in that boat where you can't find it, but I mean, 70 to 100 bucks is all right but I mean, even 100 bucks is kind of, for me, like, wow. But just depends on the area. I understand, you know, it's scarce in some places. Some places you can't even find it, and you're willing to throw 500 on a gram just to have that one experience. But extract it yourself is probably cheaper, honestly. I mean, than having, if you can't find it. Some food for thought. Alan Cole Baggett. Have you ever read The Hero with 1,000 Faces? I'll answer that one. I haven't, but I'll check it out. Do I like anime? Hell yeah. Anime is the shit. Well, I mean, I can't say I'm too big on anime, but yeah, dude, fucking Death Note was awesome, bro. I loved Death Note. And you watched this great. Soul Eater's tight. Yeah, dude, anime's pretty tight. Are peyote and ibogaine entheogens you are wanting to do? Yes, peyote, definitely. I'm Native American, and I'm very interested in how that would be, the visions of my medicine men and ancestors. I think that would be fucking tight. I mean, I've tried mescaline from the San Pedro, but I think I waited too long to drink it, and I think the potency went down. Now, if I'm correct with that, if mescaline's potency goes down within time, let me know, or maybe it's just our extraction process. There's a question about that. I'll get a little bit more into it. Ibogaine, yeah, I really want to try ibogaine. I've heard nothing but great things about it. I want to honestly kind of give it to some of my friends that have opiate addictions. I feel like it could be really beneficial to some people. I've heard great things about that. Is burning manifestable you would go to? Yeah, when I have the money. I mean, I've only been able to experience it through videos and pictures, but yeah, it's so sick. One day, definitely. Credo 1500. What is it like drinking milk when tripping/high? I don't know, man. I never was tripping balls and like, man, I want some milk. I'll let you know next time I trip out. That crosses my mind. I'm gonna take a drink of milk and let you know. But high, I mean, if you're talking THC high, if I'm correct, I think milk brings you down, from what I heard. I don't know. But honestly, milk's kind of gross. Like, I feel like milk should only be mixed with other things, like cookies or cereal or cake or French toast. Man, that sounds good right now. But yeah, milk's kind of gross. Like, we're the only mammal that drinks the milk of a different mammal. When you really think about it, it's disgusting. Oh yeah, here's the question. Hot ass B clap. Have you had any experiences with LSA or mescaline? I have, and they were both with this guy named Joe. Shout out to Joe. LSA made me really sick. Like, I just felt really delirious and really, like, disconnected and sick. Like, sick. So I couldn't really enjoy it. Mescaline, I have had mescaline. Joe extracted it, and he drank it and felt something, but I mean, I waited too long, I think, and maybe the potency went down, so I'll definitely be giving both another shot, though, that's for sure. I really want to try peyote, though, man. That'd be wild. Irene Hernandez, what music do you listen to? I listen to a lot of, like, trance stuff. Maybe I mentioned this in my last one, or maybe it's within the 400 takes of trying to make this one I've answered it, but I used to listen to a lot of hardcore music, like, to name the popular ones, like Terror, Backtrack, Rotting Out, shit like that. I don't really listen to much hardcore anymore. I listen to Spangle every fucking day of my life, that's for sure. I cannot get enough of I cannot stop being Spangled. I love Spangle. And then, like, Desert Dwellers, I'm really into them. Future Primitive, Infected Mushroom, Tipper's really fucking dope. A YouTube user actually got me into this group called Anomalous. I've been listening to them for the past few days, and yeah, they're really fucking good. So I mean, I'm new to the whole thing. So if you guys have any awesome fucking trancey music you want to recommend, by all fucking means. I'm really starting to get into that shit. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Kyle McLean, anytime you had, see, this is why you guys don't do drugs in high school, bro. I can't read. Kyle McLean, anytime you had an unpleasant trip due to bad set and setting. If so, what set and setting? Honestly, I try to be real cautious with my set and setting, so I can't blame it on that. I feel because I've had one bad trip, as I mentioned. I feel like the reason I had that bad trip was because I wasn't respecting the psychedelic like I should. Like, I wasn't centering myself and making myself at peace. I was just like, yeah, let's trip, you know. And then I feel like the psychedelic was like, whoa, no. You want to see some shit? I'm gonna fucking show you some shit. And that's why I went through that horrible nightmare realm. But it was one of the most beneficials. It made me have 10 times more respect for the psychedelic. It made all my past experiences so much more profound, so much more beautiful. So I feel like it needed to happen. I've heard a lot that bad trips can be some of the most beneficial. Scary as fuck, but some of the most beneficial by all means. The official Hukui, hopefully I pronounced that right. Do you think that people in the psychedelic community are eager to form beliefs about the nature of reality? Ow, you little... Do you think people in the psychedelic community are eager to form beliefs about the nature of reality based on experiences? How do you integrate profound experiences without making any assumptions about reality? Good! Hold on. You son of a gun. Sir Nivens, get off of me! Ow. I need to cut your freaking nails. So yeah, I mean, how do you integrate profound experiences? Well, I mean, I feel like you need to make assumptions about reality. You need to understand that there is different levels of consciousness, and what is reality? Reality is nothing more than a hallucination. It's perception, what we normally perceive. If I were to take an ink blot and show it, you would say one thing, and someone would say something completely different. I mean, I think you need to make assumptions about reality, because what is reality? No one knows what reality is. Reality is this, is what we normally perceive, but there's so many different realities, there's so many different levels of it, right? As far as people in the psychedelic community that are eager to form beliefs about the nature of reality based on experiences, I feel like, because a lot, in a sense, I mean, the psychedelic experience is your experience, but they're a lot alike the same. Like with DMT, like a lot of people tend to go through the same things, like the rabbit hole. I mean, I'm sure that's probably that's a thing, you know, the fucking tunnel you go down before you enter the DMT realm. Like, everyone knows, I mean, people who have smoked DMT have experienced that. They've experienced the entities, you know, different things that can be similar. So I do feel people tend to form beliefs about that because they've experienced it. You know, I'll say something about, you know, an entity, and someone will find me on social media and be like, I think I met that exact same one, and tell me that, you know, it was the god of time or something, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I hope I answered that question good enough for you. But, yeah. Anarchy and Metal, 666. What kind of music do you like to trip to? And what is your favorite type in general? Pretty much answered that. My favorite type in general, that is. But my favorite music to trip to is Spangle. I'm actually wearing a Spangle shirt right now. Yeah, Spangle's my favorite. I mean, if anyone ever asks me about music and tripping, Spangle. Because there's Spangle normal, right, which is good music. And then there's Spangle tripping, which is a whole nother fucking music. Like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, if anyone has any recommendations on great music, check it out. But I mean, if you like metal and shit, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't really listen to much metal now, so I can't even recommend, like, No Zodiac and shit like that. This is more like beatdown stuff, but yeah. Santiago Zeltua. Zulta, there we go. Santiago Zulta. Sorry, I live like so close to Mexico. I can't even believe I can't pronounce that. Santiago Zulta. Have you ever smoked DMT in a rig, like a dab? I have not. I've given DMT to someone and I did smoke it like that, and I heard it didn't work. I want to do it in a nectar collector, like line up 3 hits of DMT and just doom, doom, doom. feel like that would work. But give me my $5 oil burner, and I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Like, honestly, that's all I need. And XXX wants to know what's my favorite drug and what size are my ears at, and am I downsizing right now? Well, my favorite drug would be pot, my most used, my most bought, my most everything. Like, I love Mary. As far as my ears, I am downsizing. I'm actually closing them. I'm letting them shut. Well, I mean, I have them out and I'm not putting anything back in. Like, reason being is because, well, to answer your other question, my ears were 1.5 inches. But I left them, like, would take them out, put them in, take them out, put them in. And then one day I left them at my boy's house, and they wouldn't go back in. And honestly, I was just like, I'm done with it. Like, I've had them for 5.5 years. Like, they're cool, but I'm just sick of maintaining them. Like, that's the thing, you gotta clean them and keep them in and, like, sleeping on them. Like, I'm just tired of it. Like, plus everyone on YouTube makes fun of me for having fucking stretched ears. No, I don't give a shit about that. I honestly find that funny. But, yeah, so maybe I'll restretch one day, who knows. Right now, I'm not. Kyle McLean, how to ask random people who look like the type for psychedelics. Honestly, I've read a reply to that comment. That's really true. Like, you really don't. Like, that's how you get robbed. If you guys, fuck it. Google dark market, son. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Google that, look all around, and learn all about that shit. And you won't even have to look at that shit. But, I mean, if you really want to, I mean, get to know that person first. I mean, hang out with them and, like, hey, you know where I get psychedelics? Or you like to smoke weed? You like shrooms? Oh, yeah, I would love some. You know where I get some? Like, just bring it up casually. But, yeah, make sure it's a trustworthy person at least. But that's another thing, man. There's just so much out there. Like, I used to do that. I used to, like, ask friends of friends if they knew where to get LSD or something. And by doing that, yeah, I would get a hold of a piece of paper, but it wouldn't have LSD on it. Like, I've gotten dosed with so many research chems disguised as LSD, and it's not fun. This guy gave me 2 drops in my tongue once, and, like, I went to sleep, and, like, 4 hours later, it kicked in, and I was like, woke up, like, what the fuck? Yeah, and it's not cool, man. Like, teeth are, like, just, like, grinding, and you're like, I don't like this. And, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's not fun, so do that. Follow that advice. It may benefit you. Curation Beoth. Can you test your DMT in case it turns out to be some random drug that could do something really bad to you? I think with the bunkpolice.com it's possible, but I don't know, honestly. I know you can do LSD and different substances like that with it, but I think DMT in particular, I'm not sure. You may want to check it out, bunkpolice.com. But you have the right mind, and you definitely want to test all your shit. But I'll explain what DMT looks like a little bit for you. It burns. It should be real, like, crystal. It ranges from, like, white to yellow to beige, and should smell like mothballs or Nikes. So yeah. Geo/99. Any drug experiences you regret or things you learned during a trip that you wish you didn't? Do you think 9/11 was an inside job? What do you think the universe is? Do you think it's good or bad? Discuss existence, novelty, physics, etc. Jesus, Geo. Well, any drug experiences I regret? This one time I smoked this stuff called JWH, and it was disgusting. I hated it. I mean, from when I Googled it after, like, they say it's sprayed on, like, synthetic marijuana, but this was just, like, powder form of it. Yeah, and it was disgusting. Like, I was so delirious. I was hearing voices. It was so scary. And this is, like, before I even got into psychedelics. This is way, like, when I first started smoking weed. Someone was like, I have this, you want to smoke it? And I was like, sure. But it wasn't, like, spice. It was, like, its own powder. It was fucking nasty. Things I learned during a trip that I wish I didn't. I can't say I didn't wish I learned this, but I mean, learning that, you know, how fake corporations are, how often we're lied to in front of our faces, how vulnerable normal people are to higher powers telling you shit, and like, okay, yeah, you're right, yeah, let's do it, let's not question anything you have to do, and we'll do it. Like, it just blows me the fuck away, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Seeing how much we destroy the earth, No one's doing anything about it. And it's just fucked up. Like, that shit, honestly. I do think 9/11 was an inside job. That falls in that fucking category. I totally believe that. There's so many things about 9/11 that just don't add up correctly. What I think the universe is, I don't know. That's a fucking weird question to ask me, because I'm a wanderer when it comes to the universe. I have no idea. I mean, here's what I think. I mean, we have this 3D dimension, right? Our dimension, I feel like the universe has plenty more dimensions and plenty more life out there than we could ever even fathom. As far as that being a good or bad thing, I think that's a great thing, because I feel like if our piece of shit race was the only race in the universe, we'd be fucked. The whole fucking universe would be fucked. But I'm glad that there's probably a much higher intelligence sitting there like, these guys are fucking idiots. Pretty much. As far as novelty in physics, man, I'm not too knowledgeable to even give you a well-formulated opinion on that. Sorry. But as far as existence, I feel we're here to help one another, to help each and everybody grow. I mean, life is nothing but a struggle, right? And I feel like we're all here to help each other get through that struggle. But I feel like a lot of people forget that because of selfishness and greed and money and power. But I feel like that's what existence is. We're here to grow. We're here to grow as a human race and become one. People tend to stray away from that. Brian and S, did you have any weird experiences with people or like situations which were unexplainable, which made you question reality? Alright, I'm going to save that question for last. Hold on. Jasmine Rodriguez wants to know, aftermath of tripping, you have like an afterglow. And, oh yeah, shout out to her. She was the one who, I hate you, this is why the Q&A is here, dude. That's the longest video. No, I'm just kidding. Aftermath of tripping. Well, you have the afterglow, like you feel good. You may be like tired for the next 24 hours, but yeah, I mean, you think a lot about what happened. What's the best way to help someone who's having a bad trip? I don't know. I mean, laughter is key. Get them on your side, get them laughing, get them feeling good, and I'm sure that will help. Give them some water, and just communication is key. You really want to, talk with them and understand what their mindset is and what they're going through, and just communication. Make them laugh. I've never really personally had to deal with someone like freaking out having a bad trip, so I can't really say. I know for sure, but that's what I would do. Favorite music listened to, I pretty much answered that one. Best advice for someone who is interested in trying psychedelics: understand that this is something to completely respect. I mean, this isn't cocaine. This isn't something you get high off of. This is of an experience that wants to teach you something, and if you're not receptive to it, it's going to fuck with you. But yeah, I mean, you just want to do it in a comfortable place, in a comfortable environment. I think I mentioned this in my last Q&A. I mean, you want to have a whole plan set, and you just want to do it with people you trust and love. Never go too big the first time. There's no need to. Final question. Brian and S, did you have any weird experiences with people or like situations which were unexplainable, which made you question reality? Yes, dude. Lately I've been having like a completely sober like UFO phenomenon. The other day, right, I'm walking and I hear like like all the way to the left, like a mile down, all the way to the right, a mile down. They're just like flying over me super fast, and it was just gone. And I was like, well, I didn't see anything. And I was like, what the fuck? It couldn't have been a plane or anything like that. So I'm walking, right, and I see these like teenage kids. I'm like, yo, did you guys fucking hear that? And they were like, yeah, whoa, bro, you smoke weed? And like, I don't know, it was pretty funny. But and then the other night, like this literally happened. Was it last night or the night before? I was with my boy Dmt Trip, and like we saw a UFO, and it was like this little line of light. Like, it was just going, and then like he showed it to me, and I was like, no, this can't be a plane. He's like, no, look at it. Like how far that thing is, it should not be traveling that fast, which is true, because this thing was way up there. And then while he said that, it just like disappeared. Like disappeared, like faded. And we're like, what? We're like, oh shit, son. And we just saw a UFO. It was pretty funny. But then there's that. And there's another situation where like one time I was tripping on LSD, right? And I went to this random pool, and the random guy that was there was talking all about sacred geometry, next level of consciousness, yada 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 yada. Yeah, it was fucking crazy for him to be there at that point in time while I'm tripping on LSD, talking about psychedelics and all that shit. Like, we were having a full-on conversation with this guy. Great fucking mind. His name was Brad. Yeah, it was fucking wild. Fucking made me really like, that's weird. And then there's also this homeless guy I always see when I trip out. Like, anytime I go to the gas station, you guys love my gas station stories? Every time I go to the gas station, I always see this one fucking homeless man there, right? But I only see him when I'm tripping. I only see him when I'm tripping. He always tells me, yeah, I'm always here. But I only see him when I'm tripping. So I'm under the impression that he's just a hallucination. I don't know. So yeah, that's all the questions for this part. Thank God we're still recording. Yeah, 1,000 fucking subscribers, guys. Hell yeah. I've gone a long way, so I want to post the video that has been asked about the most. You guys know what I'm talking about. And it will be up. All I need to do is find someone that can burn me a CD because I have nothing to play music while I'm tripping. But once I do that, we're up, we're good, it's going to be great. But as soon as I find someone to do that, like literally, because I lost my other phone, so that was what I was going to use to play music on, because I have this phone, but it's one I record on. I'm like, right now, don't have like a computer or anything, so can't play music. But yeah, I'm getting taken care of. I already have someone lined up to help me out. So yeah, part 2. Part 3 will be up tomorrow because I only got a couple questions left. But say bye, Sir Nivens.
Peace, love, and smoke, DMT.